Hello and welcome to the channel. This thing is kind of on hold because of lack of some components. I've bought certain components from different manufacturers and they always send me the wrong ones, or like 2 or 3 times, so that's on hold until I get everything I need. Until then, I have another task for the moped which I'm working on. So I need 2 of these. These are, I don't know, sometime after World War II, maybe early 50s, bearings. So there was a shaft going through here. There was 2 of these on one side of a tube, and the shaft went through and loaded it around this, or inside here. The problem is the other one was completely destroyed as I tried removing it. This one survived. Now I need to make new ones. For that I have this here, correct material. Problem is that I couldn't straight buy these. You can't find exactly the same size anywhere. I went through a lot of dealer resources where I could professionally and have bought all kind of bearings and stuff. The exact size not match. No surprise there for something as old as that moped. So how to do it from here? Yes, I have used lathes in a professional capacity. I could use a lathe and make pieces like this. Problem is I don't currently have a lathe or place where I can do this. And buying just, let's say, cheap Chinese or one of these cheap lathes, I don't want to do that because they would be useful only, they're expensive and they would be useful only for that one thing and not more accurate things. And I just don't like the quality of them. So I was thinking, can I make a cheap enough lathe or tool to make this by myself from cheap parts? And I'm trying. Let's see how it will go. This video should have all the how it's made, and if it works out or not. So I have got all the parts. This is wood-like material, like this one. I don't remember what it's called, but use it for CNCing, like mock-up pieces. It's kind of like a fibrous wood, very thick. I got 4 bearings, like this, 10 millimeter ones, 10 millimeter axle, this material. Then also have this device. I'm planning to use this as the power source. Yeah, then I have this one for making this hole here. I have some nuts. I'm not sure if I will need them. Maybe. Okay, and then I got these. I was thinking about using these part of the lathe. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of improvising. I'm not sure if I will get accurate enough, but yeah, I don't think this was that high quality. I can tell that they were still made most likely with a lathe or some sort of special tool, because there's nothing standard in this size. How this goes. So the first part is that I will have these. Well, one of the problems is aligning all of these. I didn't even manage to get the matching bearings. Let's use 2 and 2. So both ends, the part, I don't know what's in English, the one where the tailstock is on the other end of the latch. So these are the parts of the lathe. I have 2 bearing blocks on each side to make sure that whatever is on this side, it stays relatively straight. How do I align them? I'm going to use a very crude method. Let's put this like this. Take a stick like this. I would say this is the correct arrangement. I'll take this axle. It's supposed to be straight, but it's not. Well, let's live with it. This is supposed to be relatively cheap. Though these bearing blocks ended up being not so cheap. I've seen others do the same thing online, but with wood. I'm using bearing blocks. So here's like the 2 groupings of bearings. I have no idea whether they're straight or not. So this should allow the alignment to be straight. I need a bit of height for this direction for this axle material, which is 40 millimeters to fit. It would be I need to have some space on this side for the drill. Take hold. I think this would be okay. So I was thinking I will cut attach these here and cut 2 pieces of this board, like 2 in each piece, 2 blocks, and then I will screw them on top here another time while aligning them with another bar, and I should have enough height for it. So next I'm to screw this in place. That's going to be fun. Let's see how it will go. Be back in a minute. Okay, I put screws here, 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 and all of these. I just used whatever I found in the box, just to make sure that when you screw all of them, that this axle still rotates in okay fashion, though I notice that this axle isn't straight. Let's see how straight this will be, but theoretically you get the point. If I would get better axle steel, 10mm I would get, but none was available where I live. Yeah, yes, they're about straight, approximately. Now I need to cut pieces of wood, like maybe from the middle, or somewhere here, here. Cut these pieces off, and then I will stack them on top of this one to make the lathe platform and give enough clearance between this axle and where the piece of plastic will be like spinning. Okay, see you after I've cut these pieces. So now these 2 pieces are chopped off, and I will place them at a certain interval. This means make sure that these pieces stay aligned, even though nothing in this is straight. But let's see how it will go. I'm hopeful. At least it's cheap. Anyway, so now I need to determine the correct spacing here, which is needed for the kind of the space of this thing here. How big a piece I will place here to be used. I should put some space for this end to be milled down here, or not milled, taken down from here, and some space here for tool to fit here to end. So, and the rest to be in the middle, but not too long a span. Yeah, I need to figure this out, and once I figure it out, then I'll just screw these 2 into this board. Now the platform is kind of made, so I just took this apart, kept this axle or rod in between to make sure they're aligned. Then I cut this off while holding on this in place so it doesn't move. Then I made some gross estimate with this part, like what should be the dimensions, some space for tools and other things there. What should be the dimensions and space gap, this gap here. I screwed these 2 in place. Yeah, so I'm wondering what next. I think what next I will do is cut this piece here off, and here I will attach the drill here, rotate it, and use a file to make a sharp point end here. That will align itself with middle point of this piece. This part is still a bit vague. I was thinking using one of these, but I'm not entirely sure. Because this would work fine with the wood, but it doesn't really hold on to this much, or it might just slide. I need to think a bit. So I cut these apart now, and on this side I'm just going to put like a straight pointy piece here, and I'm going to do it by attaching the drill here, rotating, and using a file to make a pointy end to this side. Okay, so this one is now sharpened. Doesn't look like it, but should be relatively point on. I mean the end. It's not perfect. Let's see how it'll work. Next I need to do this end, and I was thinking about making, at least first trying by making a thread there, and then sticking this into the thread, and maybe making a small hole like this into this one, and that would kind of aim it, and this would grip it in place. I have no idea. Let's see how it will go. This axle I had problems with because the axle which I bought was so bent by default. Okay, this isn't perfect either, but And I had trouble making threads to it because for this it was just way too bent everywhere, unevenly made. It was supposed to be 10 millimeter, but it was far from 10 millimeter. I got this thread, I'm using this one. I attach it here to the bearings. Here put a nylon nut underneath and squeeze it against this one. So this one will have these teeth that will hopefully bite into this plastic. Let's see if it works out or not. And what I plan to do next is I have a place where I can actually cut this into several decent pieces for experimentation. And for some of them, I will probably make some sort of pilot holes to the center of them to know the center points. Maybe for some of them I will drill hole, which is this diameter, so it kind of fits over this one. It's guided, and then I can drill here and use this as a lathe. So now looking at it, it's not the most straightest thing in the world, but I mean, let's see, it's cheap. I do it for the fun. So, okay, next, modifying this into smaller pieces. I replaced this end here with this one, as I could use this nut here, nylon nut here to tighten this whole rod against this piece as tight as possible. So far fine. I noticed that this piece, in order for it to make it the whole thing as easy as possible, I need to have the aiming holes drilled in the as middle as possible, aimed as straight as possible, cut this as straight as possible. It's a very difficult material to cut by hand by any means, meaning it's perfect for the bearing. This is just a trial out piece, but I realized for any kind of tool, like I'm not sure even if this is suitable for it, I should have a metal one. I need to add here an edge, one to protect that this doesn't fly at me, and have an edge against which to keep this piece. And I'm going to make it out of the same wood. Let's see. So theoretically it works. There are a lot of things that are kind of missing from it that we still need. This one is for wood. It's definitely not for this one. It needs metal work tools. The second one is keeping it still enough to control this one. This is the entirely wrong blade. It needs to have a different, much narrower blade to remove it smoothly. I think I will still try to do one more piece like this as accurately as possible. Put it here, see how little vibration there is, because this one is so badly cut that it just vibrates a lot, which makes the cutting real unevenly. Maybe if I can find a better tool for doing this. I would say wood you can definitely do with this one. Let's try this. Okay, but definitely I need to look into making this as accurately as possible and finding a better tool.